Alrighty, everybody. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to another live. We're going to go ahead and get everything all set up here. Ignore that noise in the background if you probably heard it. It was me loading up my stream here. But yeah, what's up, guys? Good to see you all. Hope everyone's having a great evening here. We're doing our enhanced risk coverage for today. Anyways, so we got ourselves Mark here. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. What's up, Roy? Saying what's up. What's up, man? Good to see you. What's up, Johnny? Saying hi. Good to see you guys. Hope everyone is doing well. So we do have ourselves an enhanced risk here for today. We actually made a video earlier this morning. They did upgrade the risk that we had because yesterday was supposed to be a slight risk, but they did upgrade to an enhanced risk here for today. All hazards are on the table: large hail, damaging winds, and of course a couple of tornadoes cannot be ruled out here. But we do have a level 3 threat, and the hotspot for today is going to be across areas of western Oklahoma, as well as the eastern portion of Texas. The Panhandle, anyways, not Eastern Texas. Big difference. But anyway, so yeah, that is where the enhanced level 3 risk area is for today. So then we have the level 2 slight risk that extends all the way from pretty much Lubbock, Texas, going all the way through Oklahoma and into even portions of southern Kansas here. And then we have the level 1 marginal risk from pretty much the Mexico-Texas border going all the way up towards Iowa here today. So we do have that potential. But anyways, what's up, Bluegrass? Good to see you. What's up, JHH? What's up, Jason? JHH says, I feel like I haven't seen you live in a while. Well, now we're here. Good to see you, my friend. What's up, Cyber? Hope you're doing well. Taylor says, I'm here on time today. Hey, there you go. Good to see you, Taylor. Hope you're doing well. Let's see you here. What's up, Aaron? Aaron, good to see you. Wants to know zip code looking on Friday. Okay, well, let me pull this up real fast, and then we're going to get into kind of what's going on at the moment, all right? So let's bring up Illinois. So for tomorrow, yeah, we have another big day tomorrow. We're going to really need to be weather aware for tomorrow. But we do have a level 2 threat out there by you for tomorrow, which does include a 2% tornado risk here, a 15% wind risk, and a 5% hail risk here. But anyways, but yeah, back to today. So we do have that enhanced risk here overall, and so we're going to have to keep an eye out there for storms. Now, we do have, they actually added a 10% chance for tornadoes today. You have a little area of 10% chance probability here in southwestern Oklahoma, including the Altus and Magnum area. Also a little bit of Texas out by Wellington. See here, Quanah, I think that's how you pronounce it, in Childress. That is where we do have a 10% chance probability for tornadoes. Now, they do have a significant level 1. They revamped the whole SPC outlook here. And, well, now the way that it works is if you have an enhanced risk level 1, it means we could see tornadoes up to EF2 in terms of strength. A SIG level 2 would be up to EF3. And a SIG level 3 would be up to EF4 and greater. But we have a level 1 significant threat for today, which is telling us that we have a 10% chance in the yellow of seeing tornadoes up to EF2 in terms of strength here. Then we also have the brown area, which is that 5% chance, which also is significant as well. And then, of course, we have the 2% chance here in the green. So tornadoes will be possible tonight up across portions here of the Panhandle of Texas, central western Oklahoma, as well as a little bit of southern Kansas that we're going to need to keep a close eye out there for, as a couple of spin-up tornadoes will be certainly possible. Now, in terms of damaging winds, we do have ourselves a big 15% risk area here in the yellow, potential of some damage wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour here for today. So we do have that potential here, 15% chance in the yellow and a 5% chance here in the brown. Now, in terms of the hail threat for today, we do have a whopping 30% chance probability here in the red across western Oklahoma, as well as the eastern panhandle of Texas, where we could see potential hail pretty much upwards of 2 inches in diameter here for today. So 30% chance in the red, 15% chance in the yellow, and lastly, a 5% chance in the brown. So that is the outlook here for today. So a 30% hail threat, 15% wind threat for today, and a 10% tornado threat. But anyways, just want to get that out of the way real quickly so you guys kind of know what risk we're in for today. What's up, Jacob? Saying, let's see. Hi, what are the odds of a moderate risk tomorrow? So it's hard to say. I mean, I'm not going to really put any, I'm not going to really say that there will be a moderate risk for tomorrow. SPC does have an enhanced risk here for tomorrow. I think they have it where it should be for now. It depends on the models. Say if there's a significant uptrend in the models by tomorrow, then, they could think about maybe upgrading the risk. But the way it sits right now, I think is good. And we're just gonna keep it the way it is. I mean, even if it is a moderate, the same thing exists. You should still be weather aware regardless, enhanced or moderate. So. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters a lot, yeah, but it doesn't matter in terms of how prepared you should be. You should still be just as prepared. But anyways, let's see here. What about Milwaukee? Milwaukee's actually in the slight risk here for tomorrow too. Today we're good, but yeah, Milwaukee does need to keep an eye on the weather here for tomorrow. Let's see what's up. I love storm chasing. Good to see you. Bluegrass says Louisville, Kentucky is warming up. Any severe threat this weekend? So Louisville's not in the risk here for Friday. However, Saturday we do have ourselves a marginal risk here, a level 1 threat overall. So we do need to keep an eye out there for a couple of strong to potentially severe storms here for Saturday. What's up, Carrot? Good to see ya. Hope you're doing well. Is tomorrow going to be bad for Milwaukee? I mean, we do have a level 2 threat for Milwaukee, which, does include a 2% hatch risk for tornadoes. So we could see some tornadoes up to EF2 in terms of strength, but a relatively low probability at a 2% chance. We do have a 15% wind threat here for tomorrow. And then, of course, we do have ourselves a 5% hail threat as well. So, all hazards are on the table in theory, so we do need to be weather aware, but it's not in the biggest hotspot. The biggest hotspot, once again, is in that enhanced risk here. I mean, yeah, the level 2 is definitely still a pretty decent risk for severe weather, and which we definitely do need to be looking out there for. But, in terms of the biggest areas, that's mostly going to be for, like, western Missouri, eastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, and western Arkansas here. Let's see here. Mike says, hi, Andrew. Am I doing zip codes later? Yeah, we'll do zip codes later on here. Absolutely. Will Dallas, Texas get a bad tornado tomorrow? The odds of Dallas getting a tornado is very low. Matter of fact, they actually pulled Dallas out of the slight risk here for tomorrow. We do, however, have a 2% chance probability for tornadoes in which, in terms of strength, could get up to EF2. Yeah, I mean, not really a big threat for tornadoes. The odds specifically for Dallas getting a tornado is extremely low. But the threat exists. I mean, we'll keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't worry yourself over it. Let's see here. Yeah, you're welcome, Plays. No problem. No problem. Will Huntsville, Alabama have a tornado threat on Saturday in that marginal risk? So as of right now, there's no breakdown for Saturday's risk, in terms of tornado probability, hail, and, damaging winds. But we'll have to see. I mean, here, we'll hop into models here real quickly. We'll kind of take a look and see what the environment will look like. So I am going to bring up our instability. This is our CAPE, right? So we'll go ahead and load up our HRRR shouldn't be, I don't think HRRR is available. So we'll go to the RRFS model here for now. We'll go to 18 Zulu. So out here by Alabama, I mean, we're going to have enough instability here. So going into Saturday, there is definitely going to be some pockets of high instability overall. But, in terms of, the tornado probability and stuff like that, that depends on some other factors like wind shear, like moisture and stuff like that. I mean, there's going to be a ton of moisture, down here, we're close to the Gulf here. So that's not really going to be an issue for tornadoes. But let me look at the lower level shear here. We'll pull up our 850 millibar winds. Now that's actually really important here, and it really is showing me that the lower level winds are not really going to be strong for Alabama, which, that would really enhance tornado probability, and also strength of tornadoes, the higher the wind shear would be. And I'm actually seeing these winds to be fairly weak. So if we did get tornadoes, they would likely be relatively weak or brief. Anyways. That is that. I don't think we're going to have too much of a big concern for tornadoes up in Alabama. But the threat could exist, but if it did, it would be on the lower scale. So, anyways, let's see here. Can we look at the future radar for Friday? Yes, we can. Yeah, we're already on models, so might as well pull it up here. So let's pull up our composite reflectivity here. I mean, it's going to be a pretty decent event overall. So we'll go ahead and load up my color table here. So if we do go back in time, we'll actually start off with today, and then we'll go into tomorrow and then the day after, okay? So we'll just go as time progresses. So for today, obviously right now it is 8 o'clock, but according to the RRFS, we should have had convection popping off, which we do. Looking at the current radar right now, we do have quite a few cells popping off, a couple of which are severe, which we'll get to that here in a moment. But if we do hop back to the models here, as we progress into the evening, this model in particular kind of suggests that we could see maybe a little bit of an MCS developing, kind of like a baby line of storms could develop out of this. And then, of course, we go into the overnight hours. Convection could still continue throughout Oklahoma. Then it should start to die down by pretty much mid-morning here for tomorrow. But then, sun comes out, we get that diurnal heating, the surface starts heating up and all that stuff. And then eventually the cap's going to break relatively late according to this model. It's going to be another late start, in terms of severe weather, which kind of sucks because it's going to be at nighttime and it's going to make things a little bit iffy. Obviously having nighttime severe weather is not really a good thing. So we'll have to look out for that. But as we approach our way into the evening for tomorrow, we kind of have this squall line that kind of develops, and maybe a couple of strong to severe storms in the in the warm sector, ahead of that front there, which could also bring some severe weather and tornadoes, large hail damaging winds and stuff like that. And then that cold front just kind of coming through and sweeping up the rest essentially. So but that is for tomorrow. It's definitely pretty interesting to see how this model shows it. But I do want to bring up the HRRR because it's obviously good to compare models. You should never just look at one particular model here. But if we do pull up the HRRR, you can see that, we're relatively the same in terms of the system here. As we approach our way into the afternoon for tomorrow, a bunch of just scattered storms develops, a couple of which, once again, could be severe, will likely be severe. And then, of course, we do have ourselves kind of that line developing here overall. So then if we hop back to the RRFS model here, going our way into Saturday. Now, by Saturday, the model actually suggests this thing really just turning into a really long line of storms here. This is for 2 p.m. on Saturday Eastern time, and you can kind of see this long, relatively just kind of broken up line of storms here, all the way from basically Texas, cutting through Oklahoma into Arkansas, into western Tennessee, and up into the Ohio Valley, where we will be likely seeing some storms up there as well. Now, we do actually have, by the time we approach the evening, quite a decent little line here. By this point, we likely will have some strong damaging wind gusts and stuff like that still ongoing here with this system as we approach into Saturday. And then, of course, the system will kind of work its way out of here. So definitely the next couple of days is going to be pretty active. Obviously we have that enhanced risk that we're covering here for today and all that stuff here. But let me go ahead and get back to the comments here. Let me see. Will there be a tornado at Oklahoma City? So the odds, once again, of specifically Oklahoma City getting a tornado is not super high. For today, we do have a 2% chance for tornadoes, and it's actually outside of that SIG level 1, which is saying that if we did have tornadoes, it could be pretty much between EF0 and EF1. That SIG level 1 risk here, which we have in the black dashed area, tells us that we could have potential tornado strength up to EF2. If it was a SIG level 2, up to EF3. If it was SIG level 3, which is the maximum, EF4 and greater. Potential for violent tornadoes, but we do not have that for today. We do have the SIG level 1, which is indicating we could see some tornadoes upwards of EF2 strength here. But before Oklahoma City, it's actually outside of that SIG level 1 risk, saying, hey, if we did get tornadoes, which is a really low probability at a 2% chance, but if we did, then they would likely remain, or they'd likely be within the range of EF0 to EF1 here overall. So not really a good likelihood here for today. Now, tomorrow, in terms of the outlook that we do have, same thing, exists at 2% risk here for tornadoes, although we are in that SIG level 1 here for tomorrow. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. But tomorrow's risk for tornadoes is pretty big. It covers a pretty large area here. We do have that 10% risk across eastern Oklahoma, and of course western Arkansas here with that 10% SIG level 1. That's what we got so far as of now. So as of now, tornadoes up to EF2 in strength is going to be quite possible. Let's see here. What are the odds for a tornado in, how do you pronounce that? Paragould, Arkansas? Let me pull up that area. Let's see here. So that is in the level 1, the 2% chance probability for tornadoes. So we do have a 2% chance for tornadoes tomorrow, which is very low probability. But we are in that SIG level 1, indicating we could see tornado strength up to EF2 in terms of strength here. But Tornado says, keep him safe, bro. All is well here in the ATL. Good to see you, my friend. And I will do my best to help keep you guys up to date. That's what we're here for. Anyways, let's see here. Could we look at the future? We've been looking at the future. Let's see. What are the chances of Milwaukee having a discrete supercell for tomorrow? So Milwaukee does have a 2% chance for tornado probability overall, which does have that SIG level 1 risk here. Now, the models, if we were to hop actually back to the models and such, in terms of that, the model here, the RRFS, kind of shows a bunch of just scattered convection here. A lot of scattered storms popping off here. So definitely, in terms of a discrete cell, it seems unlikely, at least from the RRFS. It's very, very clustered there overall. But, once again, the probability for tornadoes is fairly low out there. I mean, you should keep an eye on it, but yeah, the odds aren't super crazy. Let's see here. Will this be more of a nocturnal severe weather threat for central Missouri? Yeah, so a lot of it will be happening at nighttime. In terms of Missouri for the storms, it doesn't really happen until, later into pretty much tomorrow evening. So it will mostly be a nighttime event, yes. So we'll definitely be here at nighttime to help cover this. Let's see here. Is there any tornado possible tags? Let's hop over to current radar here. We'll go ahead and bring up the current storm. So we do have a couple of severe thunderstorms, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here in effect. So in terms of tornado possible, we do not have any of them at that right now. For the bottom cell, for the one up here in eastern Panhandle, Texas, which includes Lakeview and Memphis, this one is warned for ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, for western Oklahoma, this includes Sweetwater, including Eric here, Grimes, and Cheyenne, which we do have potential here of $50 size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on this particular storm. And then we have another one up here to the northeast. This one's out there by Lenora, including the Tauloga area. Let's see here, Burma and Putnam, which this one is warned here for. Let's see here, what's this one warned for? 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. So, yeah, the biggest one down here actually has potential hail up to. Ping pong ball size, so pretty good size hail on that storm. Yeah, I mean the environment is definitely capable, of all hazards here for today. Tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds. If I was to bring you guys over here to the observed soundings, which I'll go ahead and grab one from Amarillo. This should be fairly recent. Yeah, this was basically about an hour and a half ago. If we look at the environment from Amarillo, you can see that we do have a lot of instability through the atmosphere. There's a lot of CAPE. Our lower level moisture is kind of iffy. We have our dew points in the mid 50s here, which, for severe weather is kind of on the lower side. But, for dew points for where this is at, this is pretty normal. It can happen. But anyways, storms should, in theory, fire off in this environment here. There is maybe a little bit of problems with that air parcel in the lower atmosphere, at least getting started, unless you have significant forcing, which could, burst right through that lower level into the free atmosphere above. There is a little bit of drier air here. Throughout the middle parts of the atmosphere. This could actually enhance hail growth here. So that is something that we need to pay attention to as well. Now, our wind shear column, we do have some pretty moderate shear throughout the atmosphere here. The lower level veering does exist in this particular atmosphere, but in terms of the cloud base for this particular sounding, it does seem to be pretty elevated, which might be a little bit tricky for storms to become tornadic. For particularly this type of sounding, I see a biggest concern being hail as well as damaging winds. I mean, our DCAPE is over 1,100 joules per kilogram, which that's a lot of downwards forcing, which could, allow for some decent strong wind gusts. If we can get convection, which, obviously here east of the region, we do have quite a few storms that are popping off in the environment. So, yeah, absolutely. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on it. And, having the fact that we do have some pretty dry lower levels can actually enhance damaging winds. And that's probably likely why we have some higher DCAPE values. basically the further your temperature is away from your dew point, the lower the humidity. And because we have a great dew point depression on the lower atmosphere, this could enhance damaging winds, making them a little bit stronger. Once again, our decay value is pretty high, for damaging wind potential. So definitely got to look out there for that. We could see, some damaging winds and stuff like that with these systems, or with these storms, I should say. Let's see here. Yeah, you're welcome, Plays, no problem. Is there a chance for a downgrade tomorrow? I wouldn't count on it personally. I wouldn't count on it, but given the way that the storms have, or the models have been evolving, I will say it looks from the RRFS model we're looking at now, it doesn't look as significant in terms of storm mode as it did yesterday. Because yesterday it was showing a lot of relatively discrete supercells, and now we could have a couple of them, but it seems like it's more of a big cluster that kind of develops here. But we'll just have to see how this plays out. I do want to compare this with the HRRR, so we'll hop over here to the HRRR as well. It seems honestly like the HRRR kind of agrees as well. Kind of just a bunch of multi-cellular thunderstorms, maybe a couple embedded supercells involved here for tomorrow. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But do I think it's possible? I mean, in theory, it could be, but I wouldn't count on it personally. I think we're probably going to be still in the enhanced tomorrow. Let's see here. Let's see, we got ping pong ball size hail west of Memphis. What? Do we? There's no warning out there. Not that I see anyways. Here, let's hop y'all over here towards Memphis. Is that Memphis, Tennessee? Or is that a different Memphis? Yeah, because there's nothing going on in Memphis right now. Memphis area is pretty clear. But we do have a couple of strong to severe storms right now, ongoing right now, for western Oklahoma and a little bit of eastern Panhandle, Texas here. That's the Memphis you're talking about. Okay, never mind. It took me a minute. I was thinking of Memphis, Tennessee, the first thing I thought of. Yeah, so it seems like that precip core is actually just west of Memphis right now. It seems like some of the heaviest of the precipitation and likely some of the hail would be out by like Eli, maybe towards the Lakeview area. They do have ping pong ball size hail on that warning there, and potential winds up to 60 miles per hour here overall. So we will keep an eye out there for that. That is like the the biggest hailer that we have currently. The storm that we have in western Oklahoma, out there by Eric and Sweetwater, this one's actually warned here for, I think, 1.25 inch hail. And we do have max wind gusts up to 52 knots, which would be 60 mile per hour wind gust potential. Then, of course, we have that other cell further northeast of that. This one's out here by Sealing. I think that's how you pronounce that, in Taloga, which this one also has 60 mile per hour wind gust potential and quarter size hail. So, anyways, let's see here. What's up, Corey? Good to see ya. Core wants me to look at a zip code. Absolutely, my friend. Let me pull this up for you. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying this stream, consider leaving a like, maybe hitting that subscribe button if you're new. It would be much, much appreciated, you guys. I want to say thank you all for the kind love and support. You guys are amazing. Let's see. So we'll pull up this area. So, okay. So when it comes to UCore, we do have a 10% chance for tornadoes tomorrow. That does include you in the enhanced risk here. So you do need to be weather aware, absolutely. So the way that it works, and for what you have specifically, so they gave you a 10% chance probability overall of seeing tornadoes within a 25-mile radius around your area. So just imagine a radius of 25 miles around you. There's a 10% chance in this case of a tornado dropping within that radius that's around you. Now, in terms of strength, the new system that they added, which, at the beginning I kind of hated it, but now that I'm starting to kind of get used to it, I'm starting to like it more. And it makes more sense because it allows you to see kind of, the difference between the strength and the probability of tornadoes. The previous system that they had showed like strength and probability all in one, but now they actually they have a better system, in my opinion. It's a little bit more confusing at first, but once because I learned it, and it makes more sense now. But we do have a SIG level 1 risk here for tornadoes for you. Now that means that we could see potential tornado strength up to EF2. If it was a SIG level 2, up to EF3, SIG level 4 4 would be EF4 and greater. But we have a SIG level 1 tomorrow, so potential tornado strength could be up to EF2 in terms of strength, and of course, the probability is at a 10% chance here overall. So in terms of the wind threat, we do have a 15% non-significant threat, potential wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So overall 15% chance probability. And lastly, we do have a 30% chance hail threat. This is SIG level 1. I believe that's up to 2 inches in diameter here in terms of hail. So we do have a triple threat, so keep an eye on it. Anyways, let's see here. Molly says, I'm sorry, sorry you missed it. Did you see it for you, though? Let's pull up Carrollton, Texas. If it'll load. Come on. Here, we'll pull up Carrollton. I think I know where Carrollton's at, actually. Carrollton's, down here by the Dallas-Fort Worth area? I'm pretty sure. Here, hold up. Let me pull this up. For some reason, it's being a little bit slow. Here, let's see if we can maybe get this to work. I don't know what's going on with it. It's being a little bit slow. I'm pretty sure Carrollton, though, is down somewhere in Texas. Well, yeah, it is in Texas, but somewhere down towards the Dallas area. Is it east of it? Anyways, but tomorrow we do have a level 2 threat out here for areas just slightly north of Dallas. We do have that level 1 risk here over by, areas just kind of relatively slightly south of Dallas here. Tornado probability, we do have a 2% chance for tomorrow with that SIG level 1 potential strength up to, it looks like my thing cut out here. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and fix this. Apparently, everything cut out here for a moment. I don't know what's going on here. I think my Wi-Fi kind of is hitting the dust here. Let's see. Turn off this TV. It started playing here. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Man, I don't know what's going on with it. All right, so we are back. Mike says try to buy merch, but keep getting 404 not found. My mom was saying the same thing. How it was kind of that the merch link was broken. I'll see if I can't fix it here pretty soon, because I mean it works for me, which is interesting. But anyways, hopefully we're running good now. I don't know what happened earlier. Let's see. James says, "Hi Andrew, can I do a sounding for Springfield, Missouri for tomorrow night?" I can do that. Yeah, let's hop back up here to the models. We'll bring up our we're already on the models. So you said what? Springfield. Let's see, Springfield, Missouri. Gotcha. All right, so let's pull up Springfield. So in terms of when convection's expected, it's going to be pretty late here overall. Here, let me just grab a quick little sounding out here just to kind of see, what the environment could look like. Okay, so the first thing I do notice here is that we do have quite a veering wind shear pattern here. We do have our lower levels veering, so basically the winds are changing direction and increasing with wind speed and increasing in wind speed with altitude. And this can create some spin. We do have this arch on a hodograph here. Our effective inflow helicity here is about 379, which is pretty high. We do have maybe a little bit of a capping inversion. Storms could have a little bit of a problem developing in this particular environment here. It's possible, strong enough forcing, but we do have, our dew points in the lower 60s, great moisture, tons of instability, moderate wind sheared environment, but our lower levels are pretty strong. This kind of screams potential for tornadoes and stuff like that. So we'll definitely need to keep an eye on it. And it seems like it's going to be pretty late whenever these storms do kind of roll through here. This model in particular, this is the HRRR on the 0 UTC run. It does show these storms firing off here kind of right around 9 o'clock Eastern, which for you guys, this would be 8 o'clock Central Time overall. So that is what we're looking at here in terms of the timing. But remember, this is also like one model run and stuff like that too. So anyways, see, any EF would take my home. I live in a mobile home. So if you're in a mobile home, the best thing to do is have a plan where to go if a tornado warning is issued. You do not want to be in a mobile home if a tornado warning is issued. You want to go find a sturdier structure. So say, if you get in a tornado warning, this goes for everybody. If any of you guys get in a tornado warning either tonight or tomorrow or whenever we're expecting severe weather, make sure that you have a plan. And if you have a storm shelter or a basement, that's your number one option. That's where you want to go. But if you do not, then go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. Now, say if you are in a mobile home, or a trailer, I would recommend that you leave the trailer because it's not going to provide much protection, unfortunately. Go and find a more sturdier structure, like a sturdy building, maybe a friend's house you can stay with for a little bit, or just go somewhere that's more sturdy. And say absolute worst case scenario, say that you live in a mobile home, there's nothing around you, the trees have blocked the roads and stuff like that. At that point, go lie flat in a ditch and cover your head, because that honestly, lying flat in a ditch and covering your head would be more protecting than being in a mobile home or a trailer during a tornado. Because it's not the best to be in a trailer during a tornado. So anyways, let's see, what's up, Galaxy? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are good. But anyways, let's hop back over here to the current storms. We do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment, starting off here in eastern Texas, or eastern Panhandle, Texas. This is for western Texas, but the eastern side of the Panhandle. This does include Memphis, Lakeview, and Pulaski. This is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 1.5-inch hail. This is ping pong ball size hail, as well as wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Now, they did extend a new warning into Gillis, I think it is, as well as Quail. Let's see here, Wellington and Headley. These areas are now in effect, or now in the severe thunderstorm warning, which does include, once again, also 1.5-inch hail, which is ping pong ball size, and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Now, moving our way over here to the northeast a little bit, if it'll let me. I think my program might be giving out on me again. Here, let me try this. Yep, of course it did. I'm going to need to restart this program again, man. I don't know what's going on with it. It really loves to just to give out on me every once in a while. I really don't know why. Personally, I think it's my computer. My computer is not very happy with me running all these programs all the time. So let's hop to that other severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the data here. But yeah, so that other one that we have in western Oklahoma, this includes Mayfield, Oklahoma. Let's see, this includes Grimes, Sweetwater, and Eric. We do actually have quarter-sized hail being reported on this in particular storm at 1:37 UTC, which really was not that long ago. Now, in terms of the strength here, we have potential hail up to $half size here. And we do have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as well. And then, of course, the last severe thunderstorm warning we have is northeast of that. Here, once again, it's still western Oklahoma. This includes Orion, includes Sealing, maybe, as well as Taloga, which we do have 1.25-inch hail here, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Anyways. Let's see. That sounds good, Galaxy. Sounds good. Well, be careful if you do, for sure. It's dangerous biz. Taylor says, where do I keep up with all the warnings and alerts? So I have a little panel here for GR2 that I always use. And it shows me all the active warnings and stuff. And if we get a new one, it'll pop up on my list here. So we have two warnings in Oklahoma, two severe thunderstorm warnings in Oklahoma for Beckham, Roger Mills County, the other one for Dewey and Major County. And then we have two other in Texas, one for Hall County, another one's for Collingsworth and Donley. That's where we have the other warnings at. So that's how I keep up with everything. I have this little warning window that I keep in the top right. You guys can't really see it, but it's there. Anyways. Let's see. What's up, Just? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. But anyways, let's actually hop back to here. I do want to bring up the sat view. I did have the satellite view until my internet gave out and it kicked off my my TV back there. So we're kind of without that. And I think honestly my computer wasn't very happy with me having everything running like that at once, anyways. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring up this real quickly. I do want to bring up, see, geo color. You can really see these little popcorn storms popping off here, or these little plumes, I should say. We do have, that's one of the storms there. We have some of that convection over here between eastern Panhandle, Texas, and western Oklahoma overall. So, and of course, we do have some more convection south and stuff like that. You can kind of see where these storms are firing off. We have a couple up in Kansas, too. Here, let's bring up our current radar view back over, because we're going to look at these storms up in Kansas real quickly. It looks like we have some between Hutchinson and Manhattan. Seems like a lot of multicellular storms, which are not currently severe, although they are quite energetic, and they do have quite a bit of lightning activity on them. So it's not like Radar Omega or otherwise. No, this is GR2 Analyst. I've had this thing for years. It's a little pricey, but it's solid. Sean says I don't have enough memory in my computer. I do, actually. I have 128 gigabytes of RAM on this computer, as well as, in terms of storage, I have I probably need to clear some stuff, but it's not full. It's not full. Anyways, but yeah, so like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. It looks like they actually just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so we have a new warning in effect for northwestern Oklahoma, including Alva. Also includes the Burlington area, as well as Tacoma. This is a warning that's in effect for 1.25-inch hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on it. So we'll have to keep an eye out there for that new one. Yeah, so by far the biggest concern is this guy over here in eastern Panhandle, Texas, which we do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Gillis. Let's see, Quail. This one is for 1.5 inches in diameter, which is ping pong ball size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on it. Kind of see where that hail core is out there by kind of Memphis area. We got some pretty big returns. 66, 67 dBz. Echo returns here, telling us that, we likely have some heavy rainfall rates here, but also, that's where we'd likely see some of that hail. So yeah, definitely coming down pretty good out there. But anyways, so yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on these storms here as we do go through. The environment is relatively unstable. Here, I do want to bring up the meso analysis here. That way I can kind of keep an eye on stuff that pops off here, So let's bring this back up. So we'll hop you guys back over here for a minute. I do want to pull up mesoanalysis because I'm kind of curious to see kind of what environment these storms. So we're going to go to the storms up in eastern Texas. So the ML Cape is almost 2,000 joules per kilogram. That's quite a bit of instability. Almost 2,000 joules per kilogram. ML is mixed layer, so it's throughout the atmosphere. If it's most unstable in MU Cape, that is the layer which the instability is the most unstable. In terms of instability, there's nothing wrong there. We do have a little bit of a curvature to our photographs here, a little bit of spin, so the winds are veering, a bit of a wind change, change in wind speed and wind direction with altitude as we go up. It does change from the south to the north, going to the northeast, essentially. Now, our lower level winds out here, we do have about a 25 to 30 knot lower level jet, which isn't anything significant, but it is definitely strong enough to produce tornadoes. One of the main things I'm mostly concerned about for tornado generation is the storm base layer. Basically, this would be the LCL, or the lifted condensation level. That is essentially the storm base, and the lower the LCL, the better it is for tornadoes. But, where we stand now, from the sounding that we grabbed, it looked like storms could be pretty elevated. So that's probably partially why we're probably not seeing any tornadoes right now. But anyways, lower level shear is there. Let's see, our mid-level shear as we go up towards 700 millibar height. We do have a little bit of a change in wind speed here. You can see that the winds are now northeast, flowing from southwest to the northeast. at 700 millibar height, and then we have 850, which is pretty much directly from the south to the north here. So, anyways, Jacob says, when will the storm start going crazy with hail? I mean, at any time. I mean, it's already getting pretty heavy in terms of hail here. We do have the warnings for 1.5 inches in diameter. For today, we could see hail up to 2 inches in diameter is what we have for. So, I mean, we're already kind of getting at that point now, we do have here, let's hop back over here. This is that one set of storms up in the eastern panhandle of Texas. This includes, Headley, let's see here, Gills, I think it's how you say it, Gillis maybe, as well as Quail. This is where we do have that one for 1.5 or ping pong ball size. So, anyways, just says, where is this taking place? So the main threat for today is up in eastern panhandle of Texas. So you have Texas. Over here is the Dallas area. So this is the panhandle of Texas. Most of it's in the eastern panhandle of Texas and in western Oklahoma for today. Now, the threat does extend quite a ways away. If we actually bring up today's risk here, we pull up the categorical. So here's our severe weather threat. So the main risk areas, eastern panhandle Texas and western Oklahoma. But the overall threat goes all the way down from West Texas through Oklahoma, through Kansas, eastern Nebraska, central western Iowa, and northwestern Missouri. So, the threat does extend quite a bit of ways away through the Great Plains mostly. But yeah, it's mostly a Great Plains threat here for today, southern and central plains. Bits of the Midwest too, if you consider like Missouri, it's part of the Midwest. Anyways, but so that's the threats for today. We do have an enhanced risk level 2 threats. Tornado probability, they do have a little highlighted 10% chance area for southwestern Oklahoma, as well as southeastern panhandle of Texas here. This is a 10% chance in the yellow, so a decent probability. 5% in the brown and a 2% in the green. And then the hatched risk area, the area with the dashed lines, tells you that strength of these tornadoes could get up to EF2. So if we did get tornadoes, it would likely range between EF0 and EF2 in the hatch risk area here. Now, in theory, nature could produce stronger tornadoes, but generally speaking, based off of the kinematics, thermodynamics, just everything in the system, more than likely it would be on the lower end here. So, anyways, you're welcome, Jess. No problem. Noah says you're in Michigan. Gotcha. Yeah, nothing going on today up in Michigan. Although tomorrow we do have a level 1 threat for western Michigan here. Yeah, actually they extended that a little bit eastward here. Central and western Michigan. That one little cluster in western Oklahoma is entering a less favorable environment, but looks like it might be able to cause some big problems within the next hour or so. Which one is it? Here, let's hop back over here. Is it these guys up here that you're saying? Here, let's pull up mesoanalysis. Yeah, it does look like the cape starts dropping off a little bit, but it's still pretty unstable. Here, let's hop back over here. So if you're talking about these, ahead of those storms there, we're still over 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability. Maybe a little bit of a capping inversion out there. Here, let's do this. Yeah. I don't know, it's right there on the line. Like I said, if we have strong enough forcing, it should be able to burst right through that cap. Yeah, sometimes if you have a strong enough updraft, it could actually just pierce right through a warm layer, especially if it's a weak capping inversion. Sometimes you can have, such a strong updraft that could just push right through it. It's possible. But in terms of the wind shear, there's still plenty of wind shear here. We're talking actually about a 40, about 40 knots, 35 to 40 knot lower level jet at 850 millibars, which that's still pretty strong. The kinematics isn't the issue there. Instability, maybe there might be a little bit of a capping inversion though, but once again, sometimes you can have these. Especially if it's a weak capping inversion, you can actually have it just burst right through the atmosphere. Noah says you're in Manatee. Let's see what's the weather tomorrow. Potential for a couple storms. Yeah, Michigan. We do have a couple of storms possible. if I do bring up Michigan here. So tornado probability, we do have a little bit of a tornado risk here, a 2% chance in the green. We do have a 5% chance in the brown, and then we have a 5% chance for hail. I should probably mention the last one was wind. This one's hail. 5% hail threat, 5% wind threat, and 2% tornado threat here. Let's see. I'm still trying to get better at Mezzo now, so I've been trying to study it a little bit on the side. No, you're good. You're good, man. Hey, like I said, we gotta all start somewhere, you know. But I mean, yeah, the environment still is capable for these storms. Absolutely. I mean, and since the storm's already busted through the cap, I mean, it's already made its way through, and we already have strong enough vertical velocity to continue convection. Even though that there is a bit of a capping inversion here. See, a cap it's mostly a problem for storms that are trying to get started versus the ones that have already started. Now, of course, sometimes you can have it to where, yeah, I mean, heading into a high capping, inversion, then yeah, it could definitely play a big role on the storm. But mostly for new cells that try to develop, a capping inversion is not good for them. So, anyways, so that's that. Here, let's hop on back over here to the radar. So we do have quite a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment, though. Yeah, all of these guys. Let's see, the ones up in Eastern Panhandle, Texas. Actually, we have a new one down here, I think, or a relatively new one. New cell here. Look at that. Yeah, that cell's starting to pop off here. This includes Leslie, Texas, out by Lakeview and Bryce. Radar estimating over 1 inch size, 1 inches in diameter hail. But I will mention, this is scanning the lowest level at 4,000 feet. The dry levels, though, that we have, the atmosphere is relatively dry in the mid-lower levels across this part of Texas today, which can actually help slow down the rate at which hail melts. So that is something that is kind of going on here. We actually really use what's called the wet bulb temperature to kind of measure the rate at which hail can melt and stuff like that. There's a term called WBZ, which is wet bulb zero, the temperature at which wet bulb is freezing. But the best way I can explain wet bulb to you, it's kind of a tricky thing to grasp, but the best way I can explain it to you is, say you're in a pool, right? So on a nice warm summer day, you're swimming, and then you get out and, it's pretty warm, but you have, say, a little breeze come through, and it makes your swimming trunks feel very cold. That is basically kind of what wet bulb is. It's basically taking the temperature at which the air would be at 100% saturation or 100% humidity or full saturation. It's a little tricky to understand, but anyways, but that's very important for hail is wet bulb temperature. So I do look at that quite often. And drier air can definitely influence the wet bulb temps. Absolutely, because moisture-filled air would already be fully saturated if closer to closer to, if you're saturation. I'm just gonna cut it there. I don't want to get too involved and confuse you guys too much, because there's some things that I'm not the best at teaching at. Oh, let's see here. With that last scan on the cluster, wouldn't be surprised by a tornado possible upgrade soon. What, on the one up here? Here, let's hop over to, let's do KV NX radar. That's our closest one we have to the cell. Oh, yeah, there's definitely some turbulence over here. So, let's see. I get where you're going, don't worry. Okay, good. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not the best at teaching, but I try my best. I try my best to explain things the best I can. But it's really cool once you kind of study thermodynamics and stuff like that. I'm actually still, I've been studying it for many, many years, but I'm still, actively updating myself on it. Going through the notes again, and I'm always learning stuff still. I don't know everything about weather, and I know a lot about weather, but I don't know everything about weather. But I'm still learning to this day. I think everybody is. I think everybody's still learning about weather to this day. Even people at the research laboratories and stuff like that, we're still learning about weather to this day. We don't know everything yet. But anyways, but yeah, let's hop on back over here. I do want to hop back to mesoanalysis. So yeah, we do have quite an unstable environment, some high wind shear. I mean, like I said, we have a pretty strong little lower level jet, mostly about 35 knots, some pockets of 40 knots or so. The wind shear is a little bit higher up in those Oklahoma storms, the ones that are right here on the radar. But yeah, we do have a nice little bit of an inflow here on those lower levels. So we have the winds at the lower atmosphere, roughly about 4,000 feet up. The winds are going from the south to the north, really fueling the system with moisture and stuff like that, bringing up that warm air from the Gulf here. And then, of course, we have winds a little bit higher up at 700 millibar height equivalent, which I believe... Here, let me pull this up. I'm not sure the exact altitude. 700 millibar to feet. Let's see here. Let me pull this up. So 700 millibar would be about 10,000 feet. Yeah, so about 10,000 feet. So at the winds at that level, we are seeing the direction flowing more to the northeast. So you can see how, just from a change of 6,000 feet from 850 millibars to 700 millibars. So from about, okay, we got a tornado warning, but from about 4,000 feet to 10,000 feet, the winds are drastically changing direction. All right, let's hop over to radar. We do have a tornado warning that just popped up here. This is our first one of the stream here on that Oklahoma storm. This does include Oriana and Cello Springs here. This is radar indicated threat, telling us that we have detected rotation within the storm, not confirmed as of yet. But we do have ourselves a tornado warning in place, so we do need you guys to be in your shelters here. So in addition to this also does include, the potential for $50 size hail as well. All right, let's actually pull this up here. Ooh, you know what? That might be a debris signature right there. Look at that little blob there. That's right over the middle of that rotation there. Yikes. Yeah, there's a good shot that might actually be on the ground already. So if you look at the reflectivity here, you can actually see that little inflow notch right there. You see, so this is basically a bunch of warm air just rushing into the storm. And then there's something called a rear flank downdraft, which will be on the back side of here. So the cold air is coming down from the upper altitudes, pushing downwards, sinking down, and then you have some warm air that's starting to wrap in right here in this little notch area. But we do have a tornado warning in effect. This does include Orion, so heads up to you guys, including Orienta as well, and Cello Springs. So heads up to you guys. Once again, this is up in kind of the northwestern side of Oklahoma. Now you can see where Oklahoma is in relation to where this warning is. So once again, this does include Orion as well as Cello Springs and Orienta. So heads up to you guys. Make sure y'all are inside of your safe spots. If y'all have a basement or a storm shelter, go there now. If you do not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home, as well as if you're in a trailer, ditch the trailer, go find somewhere more sturdy. So once again, tornado warning is in effect here. All right, let's pull up our latest CC scan. Latest scan, I don't see much of anything really popping off here, but that could have been a brief touchdown where we did have that velocity there, and if we overlay the correlation coefficient right there, that could have been. So, but the latest scan here, if we do play in motion, that area kind of goes away. Yeah, we do have a lot of scatter going on, so you might notice all this discolorization over here. Looking at CC, this is actually because of the scattering of the ice crystals up in the atmosphere. The hail that's likely lofting up there. This is kind of hitting those and scattering out. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the shape of the hailstones. Because the thing about correlation coefficient is it notices the differences in particle size and shape because of the dual polarization radar that we are using here. What I mean by dual polarization is you have a beam that goes on a X and Y axis. So basically, you have one that's vertical, you have one that's horizontal, and it beams and it scans the shape and the size of the particles. And what it does is it kind of compares it to the normal rain. So, for example, the areas in this kind of maroon color is very similar in shape and size. These are just raindrops; they look pretty similar. But then you go towards the hail core, and it looks different because the hail sizes are different. It looks different than a raindrop to the radar, and it's like, hey, this doesn't look like normal rain. So then the values drop and stuff like that. So correlation coefficient is very useful for detecting hail cores as well as, of course, tornadic debris, which looks very different than a raindrop. I mean, you and I can tell you that too. If say a twig or some leaves or something gets sucked up into the air, of course that's going to look a lot different than rain, and what actually the CC is picking up here. Let's see here. But anyways, that is what we're looking at there. I do not see any debris signatures as of now, but still, like I mentioned, we need to be in our shelters. Definitely do have some rotation going on here within the storm at the moment. So this does include Orion as well as Orienta, Cello Springs area. So a bit of a heads up there for you guys. We do need to be in our safe spot. We do have quite a bit of convection popping off, quite a bit of severe thunderstorms going on at the moment. We have a lot of them popping off here for eastern Panhandle, Texas. We actually do have a report coming through for Ely, Texas of 1.25-inch hail has been detected actually out there by Ely. Which this was reported, let's see here, this was reported from the public of hen egg size of 2.25 inches in diameter. Actually, wow. That's pretty big. That's actually bigger than the warning had for it. Let's see here what the warning has for it now. It's still at 1.5-inch hail for the Wellington and Quail area up in eastern Panhandle, Texas. But anyways, we have quite a bit of lightning activity on this storm. Look at this. There is so many of these lightning icons here. So the white ones here are telling us that we had these are the strikes within the last 20 minutes. And basically, we do have, the plus yellow areas, or the yellow pluses. This is within the last 40 minutes, and the red ones are within the last 60 minutes. Now, one of the reasons why we are getting so much lightning within this particular storm is because of the ice crystals that are up in the atmosphere. There's something called grapple, which somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure grapple has a negative charge, while ice crystals have a positive charge. And, these tend to separate with wind shear, in which, can actually separate the charges and, build up a charge, which eventually builds up enough to where it has to go somewhere. So it does strike. So we do have a lot of lightning here. A lot of friction amongst ice crystals and all kinds of stuff up in the atmosphere, which is definitely generating quite a bit of electricity here. But we are definitely seeing quite a strong storm here. We do have some pretty heavy rotation going on at the moment in this particular storm. Popping over to the latest CC, it looks like we are in part of the hail core here as well. I mean, so it makes it a little bit hard to see. There is some rotation right there, as you can tell. Nothing on correlation coefficient other than just some scattering from the hail that is above. If we look at the reflectivity, we can kind of see that there is a bit of a hook here, a bit of an inflow notch right there in that green area. It's kind of hard to see, but there is absolutely a hook there. There's absolutely rotation going on, and there might have actually been a little bit of a brief touchdown, from that a minute ago. All right. I think we have a tornado on the ground now. That looks like a debris signature now because we're starting to get into the dark blue territory, which that's at the point where it looks totally different than any raindrop or any hail. The radar has that dip right over the velocity. Now, the velocity product has not updated yet, but we definitely, there we go. Yeah, I think that is a confirmed tornado on the ground here. The Weather Service still has it as a radar-indicated threat here, but we definitely do, I believe, have a tornado on the ground here. So make sure that you guys are inside of your safe spots. If you have a basement or a storm shelter, go there now. If you do not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. Stay away from windows. Just please make sure that y'all are in your safe spot. If you're in a mobile home or a camper or whatever, get out. Go find a sturdier structure overall. But yeah, please be careful, guys. This is tracking towards Orienta as well as Cello Springs here in western, kind of northwestern Oklahoma. So definitely a bit of a heads up there for you guys. Y'all stay safe out there. Be careful. We'll definitely keep an eye out there for this area for you guys. But anyways, let's see here. But yeah, I do think that is now a debris signature that has been, that looks like that's on the ground now. Definitely got some really big hail going on in that storm here, likely too. They do have that warned for 1.5-inch hail. So that's ping pong ball size hail here. But yeah, I mean, looking back at velocity there, we definitely have some pretty nasty rotation going on there. And we do have what appears to be maybe a debris signature there. So this is tracking towards the general area of Orienta, as well as Cello Springs area too. So, bit of a heads up for you guys out there. Bit of a heads up there. We do have some other severe thunderstorm warnings out here in western Oklahoma. So these guys, let's see here. We have quite a few of these, y'all. Let's see. This guy right here is for $half size hail. So yeah, the hail is definitely going up in terms of strength here. So these guys are up to $half size hail. The ones over here by Texas, this is up to ping pong ball size hail. Out there by the Wellington and Quail area up here in eastern Panhandle, Texas overall. But we definitely do have some rotation going on here within these storms over there by Orienta and Cello Springs here. Or Clio, I think it is Clio. I do believe this is mostly rural areas, though. Here, let me double check. I do want to pull up our background here, so I can pull this up. So, if we load up the background, yeah, it does look mostly rural, but it does look like there is people who are out here, though. I mean, there is some buildings and some stuff out here. So definitely need you guys to be in your shelters here. All right, we'll go ahead and load this back up here so you can pull up the radar. Definitely quite a strong storm here. We're definitely picking up quite a bit of severe thunderstorm warnings here too. Got quite a bit of hail reports up in eastern Panhandle, Texas, between 1 inch and 2.25 inches being reported. So please be careful out there. Let's see here. Yeah, definitely got some pretty good rotation going on within that storm. Although a lot of this scattering here is likely from the hail. Let's see here. Do they? Yeah, they still have radar indicated on that one. They have not confirmed that tornado yet. This might be a large tornado. It could be. I think we had maybe a couple of touchdowns here. I do believe that was a debris signature, and beforehand, I do believe that was as well. But, what's making this a little bit tricky is, like I was saying, there's a bit of hail kind of being mixed in here, which is, scattering the beam and making it look different. A lot of the reason that we're having drops on correlation coefficient is because of, likely the hail size and shape and stuff that really does that. Because, you got to think, hail is very spiky. There's a lot of spikes, and a raindrop is small, and it doesn't really it looks pretty similar to other raindrops, but then you have hail that they build differently, different sizes, different shapes, and that really sets off the radar. So that's the big thing about the correlation coefficient. But then, of course, same thing for tornadic debris too. You have like different parts of debris, like leaves and twigs and um, stuff like that that gets lofted up in the air, and it looks totally different the radar than typical rain. So yeah, definitely. But we're gonna keep a really close eye on this storm here. The good news, though, like I mentioned, it's not a super, super populated area. I mean, it does have quite a bit of areas included, but it's not extremely populated, per se. So, yeah, definitely, we'll definitely keep a close eye on it. Let's see here. Pull up that rotation. It looks like it is trying to clear out a bit here. You can kind of see that rear flank downdraft right here. This is your rear flank, this part right here. And you can kind of see the little mesocyclone would be right in there. So basically what's going on here on the on the small scale is you have a mesocyclone right here. You have cold air sinking down and going out this way. And then you have warm air that's feeding in and spiraling up, and then it cools down, and then it goes back down into the rear flank. Quite a messy system, but it is pretty cool how they work. And a lot of this is caused because of the wind shear, because of the fact that the winds are changing directions with altitude. Creates an environment where spin is natural. Let's see, because it's closer to the radar, I'm believing it a bit more and more. Yeah, the closer the radar that the storm is, of course, the better, because we're scanning lower levels. Say for example, if there's a storm that was far away from radar, that minimum beam height would be pretty high, several thousand feet. But the fact that we're having the radar pretty close, it's scanning lower levels, which is closer to the ground here, which makes it more reliable data. Yeah, this thing it's trying. I think it's trying to recycle. I mean, because that right there, that's where your mesocyclone is. There is a lot more of probably a stronger rear flank on this thing right now. Wow, look at that storm, man. That thing's starting to look pretty gnarly. I mean, this thing has kind of turned into a pretty discrete supercell. I mean, we were just looking at the meso analysis out here. Our lower level kinematics, 850 millibar height was showing about 4,000 feet, was showing that we had wind shear of about 40 knots or so, 35, 40 knots, which is decent. That is decent. I mean, it's a decent lower level jet. And then you say you go up to the altitude of 10,000 feet at 700 millibar height, then the wind direction changes. So I mean, yeah, that's definitely showing where that spin's coming from. Absolutely, and that's really fueling this system. We have a lot of pretty good CAPE out here too. Like we mentioned, well over 1,000 joules per kilogram of mixed layer. Mixed layer instability, which is throughout the atmosphere. It's pretty decent. But this does include major and woods counties here up in Oklahoma. So if you guys don't know where this is at, here's the state of Oklahoma. This is kind of for the northwestern side here. Yeah, look at the forward flank downdraft here. The FFD would be right in here. I could probably use a better color here. But yeah, your forward flank downdraft would be right in here. And this is some heavy down pushing air that's likely containing quite a bit of hail. You'd likely be getting cord out here. What I mean by cord is literally the hail core would be falling on you. Wouldn't want to be out there, really. Because you'd have some strong winds, some heavy rain, some big hail, stuff like that at that point. Yeah, Definitely quite an interesting cell. That new scan coming through, I think it's trying to recycle. I think it's trying to like get a better hold of itself here. Yeah, because that's turned pretty turbulent, pretty messy on velocity there. Yeah, it is quite a mess. But she's a trying, man. She's a trying. You know, these discrete cells, they don't like to play around. You know, these are usually the ones that cause the biggest tornadoes. You know, the most concern. Because the thing about discrete cells is that they don't have any interaction from other storms around them. Now there is some storms to the north. Now these guys are the non-dominant storm. This one's obviously the dominant storm here, the one that is tornado warned. But the ones to the north are the the secondary storms. They're usually not very dominant. Or they're not dominant in this case. But the thing is, though, is that with these discrete supercells, you know, they kind of have their own environment here without any interaction from other cells. Because the thing is that you know these storms can actually kind of hog moisture and hog instability from one another if there's too many cells that are close together. But then you have the moment in which, like, essentially where in this kind of environment here, there's really not much, there really is not that much interaction from other cells to really cause a problem. Now, it does look like we're actually starting to see some new convection fire off here just to the east here, out there by Isabella. Now, this could actually become a problem for this cell, although I will tell you what, the new scans, it looks like it's really trying to get that hook going again there. But we do got to watch out for these getting caught into the inflow feed here, because that could kind of disrupt the flow of the storm and could cause some issues there. So, what's up, Calvin? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But anyways, yeah, we'll definitely keep a close eye on those. What's up, Max? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Yeah, we do have some pretty strong storms up here also in eastern Texas, the Panhandle, I should say. Not eastern Texas, but eastern Texas's Panhandle. We do have a couple of strong storms out here. These guys are mostly a hail concern. We're up to golf ball size hail now, so that's 1.75 inches in diameter here. Definitely got some pretty big hail that's going on here. We do have, let's see here, western Oklahoma. So there was that tornadic cell up there, but we do have this guy, or these two guys over here. These ones are producing some hail too. Looks like we just got golf ball hail reported out there by Strong City, Oklahoma. Let's see, this tornado warning is going through where they filmed the movie Twister. Really? Really? Were they actually out here in this area? Huh. That's really interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a pretty gnarly looking cell. I mean, this is a classic supercell right here. Like I said, we are starting to get some convection to the east, though. That could interfere with the storm. Wow, look at that tail, man. I think we're starting to have a strengthening rear flank. Oh, yep, there it is. There, it's trying to recycle again. I knew it. I had a feeling it would, man. I had a feeling it would. Because it was looking a little iffy there. There's your mesocyclone, and that got kind of engulfed here into the storm. And then it looks like it's trying to develop a new one right here. Calvin says, any updates from the SPC for Texas, for Houston this Saturday? I mean, now's not really the time, but I can pull it up real quickly. Here, hold on one second, you guys. So we don't have anything today, nothing tomorrow, and we actually do have a slight risk here on Saturday that you might need to look out for. There is no breakdown from SPC, exactly when or what the probabilities are for the exact percentage for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. So that's not really available right now. What about Knoxville? Knoxville is a level 1 threat for Saturday. Nothing tomorrow, though. All right, anyways, back to the warning here. So remember, guys, this is a tornado warning in effect for, let's see, Clio Springs as well as Orienta. classic supercell here. You can see right where we do have the. Let's see. We'll go ahead and pull this up. You can see where we do have that forward flank downdraft. That's where we are having some of the biggest hail. Is right there where that pink is. Some of the heaviest rain, some of the biggest hail is going on in that area. Now, we do have that mesocyclone, which is right in here. We have a rear flank downdraft bringing cooler air from the upper levels, bringing it down towards the surface. And then, of course, we have that inflow, that's coming in through this little notch right here. So that's your inflow notch. Warm air is piling in here, and it is spinning around, that low, and then it kind of goes up to the air. But anyways, wow, dude, look at that thing, man. Yikes. I knew it was going to recycle. Y'all heard me say that too. I knew it. I knew it was trying to. Wow, man. Look at that thing, dude. That is freaking crazy. That's a classic supercell shape right there. Classic hook echo. See, Waukeeta County, Oklahoma is the path where the tornado Aunt Meg's house was. Waukeeta? Does that even exist? Waukeeta? I thought that was just a made-up area, honestly. Goodness, man. That thing is classic. We were looking at the meso analysis out here. We have a pretty strong feed here, pretty strong lower level wind shear. Once again, if we take a look at that real quickly, you can see that, where that specific storm is, we have a 40 knot almost lower level jet stream, about 4,000 feet up. And then you move up to 10,000 feet, and then the winds change direction, to the northeast, and, still about 45 knots or so. So they change slightly in wind speed a little bit, about 5 knots, over a 6,000 foot differential, but the direction changes quite aggressively, which, really explains the kinematics for the storm here. It's pretty decent. If I bring you guys back over here and actually pull up the hodograph, look at that curvature on the hodograph and look how it represents the storm itself. You can see the hodograph on this panel here where the environment is, and you can see the tornado itself, or the hook echo itself. You can see that resemblance. You can really see that resemblance there. Wow, that is unbelievable. Look at that. See, it is real. It has a Twister Museum. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that place is real or not. Goodness, but yeah, look at that, dude. That's about. That literally looks like a fish hook. Tell me that does not look like a fish hook there. Yeah, velocity is a little iffy right now. It's very, very turbulent out here. That's for sure. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. That's just classic right there. Like Everett said, textbook. That's textbook. That's something you'd see in a textbook explaining discrete supercells. Classic hook echo there. Goodness, man. Well, if this doesn't tell you it's almost spring, I don't know what will. Yeah, you got your rear flank down here. And then, like I said, you have your inflow notch coming in here. You're really feeling it, and you have your low there, and then it spins up, and then it gets caught back down into your rear flank, and it's just kind of a whole cycle. Here. What's up, Sleeveless? Saying good evening. I've been staring at the radar for about 40 minutes. This thing is ridiculous. Yeah, we've been keeping a close eye on it here. It's pretty good. Pretty gnarly looking storm. Look at that, man. I can't get over that shape. There's a big clearing spot right here. This would be such a photogenic storm, dude. This would be such a photogenic storm. If you had a storm chaser like anywhere in here, obviously I wouldn't want to be right here if you're a storm chaser. You do not want to be in the inflow feed here because that thing would go right towards you. But if you were like over here, per se, and you got a photo of this, you would be seeing a spectacular sight right now. Absolutely unbelievable sight, I'm sure. The light, there's so much lightning going on too with this system, that it would really illuminate the storm. I mean, if you had a time lapse camera, like say out there by Fairview, dude, you would be seeing some stuff, man. Holy cow, dude. I'm just in awe, man. I mean, this is just classic. Yeah, so a lot of warm and moisture-rich air is really kind of fueling the system. It's really pulling into this notch here. I know I've mentioned this a lot, but then you have your rear flank downdraft, which is cooler air that's kind of backing in. And this is why there's, the condensation funnel is because of the warm air wrapping in with the cold air, allowing the temperature to reach its dew point, and because the air becomes fully saturated, as well as everything starts condensing. Even the tornado itself. So, absolutely unbelievable, man. Oh, really? There is tornado damage. Yeah, I was looking at the um what was it? I was looking at the correlation coefficient earlier, and we were noticing that there was likely that debris signature there. Let's see here. Right now, let's look at the velocity's so messy right now, very messy. Nothing on CC at the moment, but I mean there is a good shot that this thing could be trying to develop. It looks like we might have some weaker echoes here. Interesting. Yeah, quite a nasty one. Sewing, I don't have rights to those cameras. You got to remember. I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued for using people's cameras that I don't have access to. If it's like 511 cameras or, just dot cameras, that's government. It's different. But if it's, other cameras, I don't have rights to those unless I ask specifically. Don't feel like getting sued, though, tonight. But we got radar, and radar tells us enough. Radar really tells us kind of what's going on here. Will the warning be upgraded to a PDS tornado warning? So typically they do that if it was a more populated area, I'm pretty sure. Not to mention, it's still actually a radar indicated threat. It's not confirmed from the Weather Service right now. Although I do think it was on the ground for a little bit. Yes, I do think so. And I think we saw that a little bit ago. But yeah, to answer your question, no. Not yet. Not needed. But if this thing was on the ground and it was heading into some heavy populated areas, then it would be needed. Anyways, here let's hide the radar for a minute. So we do have a Clio Springs area. These areas are inside of the warning. So if you know anybody in Clio Springs, I mean, it seems like a small little community here, but there's a lot of people there though. Probably a couple hundred people that live here. And then, of course, we have another area out there in Orienta, which is a much smaller area. Literally looks like it's just a big farm. But there is people, here and there. You got some spots where you got people, and these people need to hear the warning. Yeah, but then you got Orienta here is actually kind of in that little inflow notch there. Let's see. These are tiny towns. Let's see. I think Channel 5 confirmed a tornado. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you that too. We likely saw a tornado a little bit ago. There was two particular two correlation coefficient scans that were dropped right over the velocity couplet earlier. Now, right now, like I mentioned, velocity is very messy. It is super messy here. Nothing on CC, no obvious debris signature right now on correlation coefficient, but reflectivity tells us that we have quite a hook. It looks like it's kind of getting a little messy, though. Wow, that's a big severe thunderstorm warning. Look at that. They just issued a new warning, severe thunderstorm warning for the cell here. This includes the Cherokee area up in Oklahoma, also including Byron, Burlington, Lambert, let's see here, Tacoma, Helena, Jet. These areas are in the warning for now 1.5-inch hail, which is ping pong ball size hail, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust potential. So that is that. All right, let's see. How much longer do we have on this warning? We have 4 minutes left on the tornado warning here, so we'll see what they do. It's hard to say. I mean, it looks like it's kind of breaking up a little bit. Let's see, velocity might be getting better, says Carrot. Yeah, but the echoes we're seeing here from the radar is kind of breaking up a bit. I mean, we're not too far from the radar. If only we had the radar like right here, so you could see through it, without going through all this precipitation first. Yeah, Sewing. I have no idea who that is. Anyways, but we do have 1.5-inch hail, once again in the warning now, for also gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So we got to keep an eye out there for that. Once again, still lots and lots of lightning activity on this cell. They still do not have it confirmed. They do have the warning for golf ball size hail and, of course, the tornado itself, which, golf ball size hail is up to 1.75 inches in diameter here overall. What's up, Ace? Good to see you. But yeah, once again, the big thing is that this is a radar indicated threat. But, like I've mentioned a million times in the past on different streams, it's like, I don't care if it's a radar indicated or a radar confirmed tornado. You still need to be in your shelter. And they actually just extended the tornado warning now. Look at that. So now that includes Helena, Galtree, McWillie, as well as Aline. You guys are now in the tornado warning here. They did extend that for those areas. So definitely keep an eye on it. Let's see. I'd give a tornado warning still. The echo might be weakening, but the cell has a history of. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Absolutely. It could be recycling, like we mentioned earlier. I mean, it already recycled once. I mean, we saw that. We saw how it went from looking very sloppy to getting back into the action here. But they still have radar indicated threat on the new warning too. So, but like I said, I don't care if it's confirmed or if it's radar indicated. You still need to be in the same spot. What's up, Frankie? Saying tornado on the ground. Yeah, I mean, more than likely it was on the ground for a little bit. I mean, it could very well be on the ground right now, but once again, the official warning has it for radar indicated. But yet again, same thing. Still be in your safe spot. If you have a basement or a storm shelter, of course, go there. If you do not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. Let's see here. So please, please, please be careful. There's also some new convection firing off to the east. This, once again, could affect the inflow of this storm in the future, which could, kind of make it go a little wobbly. Which I kind of hope so at this point, because, I mean, I hate to say this, but it is heading into some more towns here. Let me check and see how populated this is. It doesn't look like McWillie is that populated. Interesting town name. Helena. Yeah, Helena seems like it's another one of those towns with a couple hundred people in it. Nice little town here. We got Galtree. Same thing, it looks like. We just got a lot of these towns that are just... these little dense towns here. So, but yeah, we do have quite a bit of houses in these, but still, we need Galtree, Helena, McWillie, as weird of a name it is, Aline, Cleo Springs, and Orienta to be in their shelters ASAP. Once again, if you have a basement, a storm shelter, go there now. If you do not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. So, anyways, let's see. Wonder if that storm to the southeast will merge with it and become the dominant storm. It's hard to say. Look at that. You already have a little bit of a curvature on that cell, just from the environment itself. What I'm hoping happens here is that we get so much noise from multicellular thunderstorm activity that it just cancels it out. or at least it really disrupts the the inflow and stuff. Which that's kind of what I'm hoping for now. Because the thing is that with this cell that's developing here, this is actually within the feeder bands of the storm itself. Because the supercell is pulling in air through here, and say if we start getting a bunch of downdraft air, some cold air from the levels of the loft, if they start falling down and start making a cool pool, a cold pool of air, that could start being sucked into the storm and just kill it out. That's the thing. So I'm kind of hoping that that's the case here. I'm kind of hoping that it does that. It's not looking as hot as it did a minute ago. It looked quite aggressive there a little bit ago. I mean, we can go back on those scans here. I mean, it looked pretty ugly, especially that particular scan there. I mean, right there. Look at that. That's just crazy. Comparing to where it is now, you can see it's definitely a lot more messy. Yeah, the velocities are just all over the place. So much turbulence. Correlation coefficient, still not seeing any debris signatures. This is all just likely. That's likely contamination there. Yeah, that's contamination. See, Ace, while the warning is radar indicated, and it isn't officially confirmed by the Weather Service, earlier we did see some scans where it did likely touch down. There was a couple of debris signatures that we saw that more than likely debris signatures that we saw. I mean, because they overlap right with the velocity, right there in the couplet. I mean, I don't know if I can go back in time anymore because it's been a minute since that happened. Actually, there you go. Right there, you can see that particular scan and overlaying velocity. You can see where that velocity couplet was, that debris signature more than likely. So that was likely a tornado that had dropped down previously. And then we had another scan right here, which if we overlay the velocity, you can see where that rotation was, that there overall. And then ever since then, it's just been a bunch of contamination and, some hail and stuff like that. It's kind of getting involved in it. But yeah, I mean, this thing was likely on the ground a little bit ago. But like I've said it a million times. I know I sound like a broken record. I don't care if the storm is, warned, if it's confirmed or not. I really do not care if it's confirmed or if it's radar indicated. Same thing applies. You still need to be in your safe spot. You still need to be, if you have a basement, storm shelter, go there now. If not, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. I cannot stress it enough. I cannot say it enough. So, yeah, just be careful out there. Please, 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 please. But yeah, the inflow is looking a little iffy now. Or just the hook in general is... Okay, now, although, I mean, there is definitely a little bit of rotation going on in there still. What a mess. What a mess. Can't forget about these other storms, too. We do have a little bit of hail being reported. Yeah, we did have golf ball hail being reported out there by Strong City area, just west of Strong City a little bit ago. What's up, Ponderosa? So, some scary stuff. Yeah, it's definitely... pretty crazy. I will say the good news is that it's not anywhere near major cities, but there is a couple of towns with probably a couple hundred people, like for example Helena and Gultree. These areas likely have a couple hundred people that live here. They definitely do need to be in their shelters though. It's kind of hard because we can't really reach out to these people, because of that. So yeah, definitely. Definitely is pretty wild. But you guys, please be careful out there. Please be careful. If y'all have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. So yeah, there's our reflectivity. But that cell out there by Isabella, just southeast of that supercell, it's starting to pick up in strength. So I'm hoping soon that we'll start to get some cold air feeding into the supercell. Let's see if this just happened today. I'm worried about tomorrow. It's supposed to hit me around 2 to 5 a.m. Looks like I'm not sleeping Friday night. Yeah, we're going to be live a lot tomorrow. I do plan on streaming quite a bit for you guys. Like I've been saying the last couple days, I mean, it's going to be busy. It's going to be real busy the next several days, unfortunately. We also do have, I think, what is it, next Tuesday? Got another event lined up for severe weather. Here, let's bring up the SPC real quickly. Oh, we do have a tornado watch in effect. I forgot to mention that to you guys. Here, let's bring you guys back over here for a moment. Okay, so for next Tuesday, we do have a pretty big 15% chance area for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and Kansas here. So we need to look out there for them as well. Also, we have Saturday, 2 slight risk one across the Ohio Valley, one across the Gulf states here. And then, of course, tomorrow we have the big enhanced risk here. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on it. Then, of course, we have our day 1 outlook, which is today. We have that enhanced risk that we're currently tracking. Currently keeping an eye on. All right, so we have 39 minutes left on this tornado warning here. This is for ping pong ball size hail. So we have about 40 minutes left on this storm here. So not only could we, be having a tornado in this particular storm, but also we could see some hail up to ping pong ball size here. Overall, my chair just fell. Hold on, let me lift it back up. But yeah, we could definitely see a little bit of hail as well involved here. What's up, Bryson? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, still got a lot of lightning activity going on here. It's it definitely doesn't look as nasty as it once did, but still, I mean, there's definitely still some rotation going on in that storm. You can obviously tell. I should say, at least on reflectivity, it doesn't look as significant here. Let's go back to one panel. But there is definitely still some rotation going on here. If we pull up correlation coefficient, do not see any debris signatures. Supercell might be getting bigger. Well, the cell itself, I mean, it's roughly still the same size. Here, let's go back down here. But yeah, look at that scan. Definitely some pretty good rotation going on. This is out there by Clio Springs, just slightly northwest of Clio Springs is where this rotation is currently. And this is tracking towards McWillie and Helena, as well as Aline as well. So heads up to you guys out there. Calvin says, let's see here. I was surprised that this tornado warning storm is outside of the enhanced risk area. Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you that, I mean, even these SPC outlooks, they're not perfect, but they're there to help. Absolutely. I mean, this is in the region where we do have a tornado risk. So, I mean, it's there. There still is a probability for tornadoes even in this area. So, I mean, it was expected. I mean, it was expected to happen where we could have a couple tornadoes today, yes. But anyways. So your dew point is over 60. Yeah, dew points in the 60s is really good for storms because it supplies a lot of water vapor to the storms themselves, because they pull the air from the ground and they lift that air up into the atmosphere. Because the air on the ground is much warmer and much more full of moisture than those upper levels usually, in which, because of that, it uses all that water vapor, as that warm air cools and goes up in the atmosphere, that warm air can no longer hold as much moisture, and your temperature reaches your dew point. You hit saturation, 100% humidity, and then the air can't hold any more water vapor anymore. Because it's getting colder and it has such a high abundance, such a big tank of moisture, that it just starts condensing, and you get water droplets, and then that's how you see these clouds. So. Let's see here. See, it's relatively the same size, but it has more girth, and the anvil looks bigger. It's evolving. I mean, there's definitely still some rotation in that storm there for sure. As of now, though, I do not see any debris signature. But you also got to remember, I mean, it's got to hit something to show up on CC, you know? I mean, I'm sure there could be some dirt. Whoa. That latest scan looks kind of crazy. Look at that. So you have this cell shape. Wow. Boy, did that pick up quite a bit. Holy cow. Still no debris signatures. But like I was saying, though, I mean, it's got to hit something. It's really got to hit something to really show up on CC. But my goodness, man. Whoa, look at that velocity. That's a pretty strong rear flank downdraft on that thing. Holy cow. So that's that cold air coming down from the upper levels here. So, yeah, you know, you got that cold air that's sinking down and it's just going like that. And then you got the warm air that's pulling in. And then, you know, you got that low right in the middle. And then that just spirals around, goes up, and then it cools back down, and then it goes right back down into your rear flank. I think it gets separated. I think it could go in your forward flank downdraft, the air coming up. But I think some of it gets caught back in the rear flank, and some of it goes in the forward flank. It kind of splits, essentially. Really crazy. Really crazy. I mean, it's just amazing how these things work, man. They're so complex, yet they're so simple. You know, it's wild. It really is. Here, let's bring back up our reflectivity. I mean, that is a classic hook signature. This thing's still a beast. Still a beast. I'm ready for it to die though, because I don't want to deal with this anymore. I hate these storms. You know, they're so cool. I like seeing them, but like I don't like it when there's people's lives involved. I mean, it is a relatively rural area, but there still is people here, and that bothers me alone. And there's still people's houses and stuff like that that's in the path of this thing. So that's what I don't like. My goodness. Yeah, what a beast, man. What a beast of a storm. Sewing says I'm not liking this. Yeah, I could see why. How far away is this from you? Aren't you like the Blackwell area, if I remember correctly? Sewing, you've been on the channel for years at this point. I mean, I remember you being here forever. And I feel like I recalled you saying that you're out by Blackwell, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, that's not that far away from these storms here. They should be east of you. This particular cell should remain west of you, I should say, not east. But yeah, we are starting to see that new cell develop here. Wow, look at that thing. That thing's got a little bit of a tail on it too. About an hour from you. Yes, Blackwell. Oh, gotcha. So, let's see, that storm is to the southeast. Looks like it's traveling parallel, so it might not cause issues for it either. What? The cell right here? This guy? So yeah, see a lot of the inflow, you know, is coming in like this. And of course, you know, you have the rear flank down here. But the problem is that if any cold air kind of gets involved, you know, if it does get caught up in the inflow, you know, that's going to start introducing some cold air into the, you know, what's supposed to be warm air into the inflow here. And that could cause the system to stop up. It could cause the system to stall and sputter a bit. Not stall, but, you know, sputter. And ultimately, if there's a lot of cold air that gets caught up in the intake, it's just going to die. It's freaky how a supercell can re-strengthen in seconds. I don't know about seconds, but yeah, within a couple minutes it can, yeah. They're pretty crazy. They are. Sewing says if it turns, I'm in trouble. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It should remain on a relative linear trajectory. There's not a lot of change in wind direction that's allowing it to change its movement. Because in our lower levels, so basically it's like this: we have strong lower level winds. So the wind's coming from the south, going to the north. As you go up in altitude, the wind direction changes to the northeast here, and there's a pretty thick part of the atmosphere that's going in this direction here. That's mostly carrying the storm's movement. Another tornado warning? Where? Texas? Why is it not showing up? Oh, there it is. Oh, buddy. This is out there by Gillis. Let's see. Looks like there's trying to be some rotation over here by Gillis. Also, tennis ball hail on that thing. Holy cow. There is tennis ball size hail on that storm. Shoot, I keep on pulling two panels by accident. Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on that cell there too. But that includes Gillis and Quail in eastern Panhandle, Texas. Good news is we have a radar right next to that northern supercell. Carrot says we'll see. Hopefully that storm can stop it, but nature can disappoint you very easily. That's very true. I don't know, man. That cell's getting a lot bigger. This thing's getting ready to merge. Like, this thing is growing horizontally. I mean, look, they're already about to merge here. That's going to start interacting with it. Storm might not like that very much. Well, we can only hope, though, Can only hope. That's fair, Ace. I mean, yeah, you should be going to your safe spot, if there's a tornado warning or whatever. Definitely. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I mean, these are both radar indicated threats as of right now. All right, let's hop back over to this guy for a minute. Wow, dude, look at that rotation, man. Now that is some tight rotation there. Yeah, that's. I'm putting my glasses back on. That's actually pretty. That's pretty tight. I mean, that's what that's tracking. That's tracking right towards McWillie. Heads up, definitely for Helena, Gultree, and McWillie. That is crazy. Yeah, that's definitely some pretty tight rotation there. Yeah, a lot of these warnings are getting upgraded to some pretty big hail. See, we have golf ball hail on that storm. We got quarter hail on that one. And then the tornado warn cell. This is up to tennis ball size hail, dude. That is 2.5 inches in diameter. That is quite crazy. Wow. Dude, look at that. Yeah, that's like getting in the tan territory. That's crazy. That is showing, what is that? 64.5 knots. I mean, that's crazy. See, it's showing base at 1,000 foot. That's crazy. Yeah, I hope this thing will die out soon. You know, they might eventually warn this other guy over here. I mean, we're starting to get some pretty big echoes. I mean, we're seeing 69 dBz in this thing. There definitely is likely some hail in that. How fast are these storms going? Moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. It explains it. You know, explains the jet stream. You know, we were having the wind shear flowing at about what was it? Like 45 knots or so. About 35 to 40 knots. So I mean, yeah, it's about 40 miles an hour. Wow. All right, I'm hoping that it's fire dying out here. Reflectivity doesn't look so hot anymore, but McWillie's likely seeing some pretty big hail right now. You're seeing about 69 dBz on that. Unbelievable. Yeah, these guys are about to merge. Actually, they're merging now. Look at that. They're starting to interact with each other. I'm hoping that that'll throw it off a bit. Let's see here. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take a minute to go grab a drink real fast and go use the restroom real quick. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be like right back. I just need to go and do this real quick. So I'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight for a minute. I'll actually, I'll just leave it right here. You guys can see the radar. It'll only be a few minutes. Something says what happens when they merge. A couple of things could happen. Nothing could happen at all, or it could really cut out some of the storm's inflow and kill it, or weaken it significantly. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me like 2 seconds. All right, I'm back, y'all. Did I miss anything? Okay, we have a confirmed tornado now. Where the heck is this? Hold up. Oh shoot, that's on this cell over here. All right, let me hop to the Amarillo radar real quickly. So we apparently have a confirmed tornado on the ground here. Let's see. This is a damaging tornado and tennis ball size hail. Storm chaser video confirmed the tornado on this one. Wow. Oh, buddy. So this includes Sam Norwood, some Norwood. I'm not sure how you say that exactly. You can see it on screen here. Sam Norwood, as well as Luty and Quail. So we got ourselves a tornado on the ground here. Also, hail up to 2.5 inches on that one. See, right when Andrew leaves. I know, right? It's like, dude, everything happens whenever I leave. That's just how it goes, man. All right, so we have 3 active tornado warnings. We have another one for Gillis. Unfortunately, our radars aren't the best down here. Yeah, I mean, the closest radar we do have is Amarillo, which we're scanning about 6,000 feet aloft. So that's what, roughly about 800 millibar height, maybe 825 or so. Yeah, so that's a little ways away up, but it is confirmed. It probably, here's what I assume. It probably wasn't seen because of the fact that, the radar beam is scanning so high. And the fact that we do have, storm chasers out there and stuff like that, they saw it. And, they can get that report in there. I bet you that's partially what it is. Goodness. So that's our first confirmed tornado of the day. So once again, that includes Luddy or Luty. I think it's Luddy, maybe. Sam Norwood, as well as Quail. We got ourselves 32 minutes on that one. Confirmed tornado was located near Quail, or 13 miles northwest of Wellington, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. What's up, Scott? Good to see you. And it's a nocturnal tornado. That sucks. I hate nocturnal tornadoes. Yeah, me too. Yep. Although it looks like this area is very rural. There's a lot of crop circles. It's mostly farmland. Quail has quite a few people. Yeah, there's a lot of farmland here. Holy cow. Look at all these crop circles. There are so many of them. Yeah, so this is a big agriculture problem for these people, probably. Not good. Probably going to hurt their farms a bit, from the hail and stuff. Hail is terrible agriculturally. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of really big echoes on here too. All right, let's hop back for a minute up to that Oklahoma tornado warning here. That looks a lot worse than it did before, which is good. Still rotation though, man. Look at that. There's still some rotation out there by McWillie. Going right towards Helena. See, it's getting interrupted right now. Hopefully that's the end of it. Very tall and organized. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I mean, it's like I said, we're having some merging. We have some merging stuff going on here with that cell. Let's see, it's just planting season now. That's true. I kind of forgot about that. You're right. I think it's time for potatoes. I think you start potatoes in March, if I'm not mistaken. I guess it really just depends on where you're at, though. True. So, yeah, true. All right, so the confirmed tornado is out there in Collingsworth, Texas. That is where that's at right now. Storm chaser video confirmed tornado. See, wheat. Oh, it's time for wheat too. Yeah, it also, just depends on the area that you're planning in, because I know season, I'm pretty sure, starts a little bit earlier down here in Florida. Is creating a new hook. It's hard to say. It looks like there's a bit of a detached mesocyclone here. Very interesting, though. There's definitely some rotation still. Man, I don't know. Hard to say. College is at least the storms in a rural area. Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's mostly rural. But there still is people here, though. You know, you got Helena, see Cleo, Springs, Gultree, and Aline. See, from the storm chaser video, I'm seeing it's completely black. All that will show is tornadoes, lightning. Gotcha. Y'all, that might be another confirmed tornado right there. Hold up. I think the correlation coefficient scans ahead. Dude. I'm pretty sure it is anyways. Here, let me. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I think that's confirmed right there. I am pretty sure that is a debris signature right here. That right there. I think we have another confirmed tornado on the ground. It looks like it to me, anyways. It looks like itty bitty. So we'll see if that one goes warned or not. Ooh, look at all this convection to the south we're starting to get. The south of that supercell there. That could become an issue for it. Is it changing direction? Nah, the storm is moving in the same direction. The SRM's still the same. Ooh. Man, that's crazy. We'll pull up this one here. Yeah, we need to keep an eye on Quail. Quail needs to be in their shelter here. Oh, they're both observed. You think you got a photo from the video? Send it in Discord. Okay, cool. Yeah, send it in the Spotter Network chat on our Discord. I just seen you come online. That's funny. As soon as I pulled up my Discord. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I think that is a. Oh, there it is. Whoa, yeah. That's it. Sheesh. I can't show that because I don't own the rights to that image, but yeah, if you want to see it, just join my Discord, guys. If you want to see it, join my Discord. It's in the description. Yeah, that's it. It's gotta be. Yep, that's a large tornado. Yeah. See that the ball's getting bigger on the debris signature. Yeah, that's what I was noticing. That thing's definitely on the ground, I think. Oh my gosh! Holy cow, dude! That is 100% on the ground. Look at that. It's black on the correlation coefficient. Oh, man. Oh, they put a PDS on it, dude. They put a PDS, tornado warning, on it. Radar confirmed tornado. Let's see here. Yep. Yep. That's it. It's on the ground, y'all. Holy cow. Dude. I mean, that is deep. That is a deep debris signature on that thing, dude. Oh, buddy. Let me 2-panel that for you guys. If I remember how to. 2 panels. Can y'all see that properly? No. Okay, there you go. You can kind of see it now. There you go. That is crazy. See, re-strengthening again according to the channel 5 a wedge. Yeah, it likely is. I mean, debris signature that big? It's pretty that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Sheesh, man. Sheesh. Let me pull up mesoanalysis again. I'm really curious to see the environment out here as of now. Let me refresh mesoanalysis. I'll keep you guys on the radar for a minute so y'all can see this. So there is okay, new scan came through. So okay, here's the details of the environment that this tornado is in. Right now, the mixed layer cape is at 1,500 joules per kilogram. We have a lot of There's no capping inversion. There's some strong veering going on. Yeah, no wonder why. Here, I'm going to go and show you guys this real quickly. Look at the lapse rates here. Tons of cape, tons of instability throughout the atmosphere. No capping inversion on the lower levels. The wind shear throughout the atmosphere is pretty strong. We got some curvature on our hodograph. Classic curvature on the hodograph here. And then when looking at the environment in general, it looks like we're actually now in a 40 knot lower level jet. That storm right there is having those winds at about 4,000 feet, being about 40 knots from the south to the north directly. And then, that's at 4,000 feet. Then going up to 10,000 feet, the wind direction changes to the northeast. Still at about 40 knots or so. Wow. What is our helicity out here? Let's do storm relative helicity. Effective. We'll do effective. Goodness. So what is that? About 300? Yeah. The effective inflow layer here, storm relative helicity, is at about 300 M2. That is unbelievable. Yeah, no wonder why we're having this here. Why did it seem like once this cell merged, it actually made it stronger? And because I know in a lot of cases, it really affects the storm. But just the environment itself that we're in. I mean, yeah. They put a new warning out here. New PDS. Also 1.75-inch hail on that thing. Here, I wanna make it to where you guys can see both of the panels a lot better. There you go. That should help. New PDS for Oklahoma. Yeah. It's this guy right here. Here, we'll bring you guys back over here. This is a new PDS tornado warning. So PDS stands for particularly dangerous situation. Tornado observed. Hail 1.75 inches in diameter here. So this is direct quotes from the Weather Service. At 9:22 p.m. Central Time, which right now it's 9:24 p.m. So 2 minutes ago. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Helena, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. This storm will approach Jet and Great Salt Plains Lake State Park. Hazard damaging tornado, source radar confirmed tornado. You're in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. That is crazy. Crazy. To repeat, an extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to a storm shelter or a safe room or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. It is getting gnarly out there. Yeah, Blackwell's over here. This is Blackwell, and this is where the tornado is. So it's a good little distance away. I should be able to measure it. I think there's a measuring tool on here somewhere. I haven't not. Oh, sorry. It's I think it's a pro feature, maybe. Oh, here we go. Measure. Duh. So you are in Blackwell, so you're right here. So sewing, you are about 50 miles away from the storm here. From that tornado. Golly, dude. What a beast, man. So here's the latest radar imagery. Look at that. It's just wrapping in here. Once again, you got that cold rear flank downdraft coming through. And then you got your warm inflow. Really just wrapping around here. Goes up. Let's see here. Cole says, thank you for this info, saving lives. No problem, dude. I got you guys. Yeah, it's what we're here for, man. We're here to help. So this tornado warning now includes Jet, Oklahoma, which is actually right here by the radar site. Let's see, the warning they have. Okay, so they said that it was located near Helena, moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. The storm will approach Jet and Great Salt Plains Lake State Park. It didn't say a ETA, but still, be in your shelter now. What's up, J-Lord? Good to see you. Looks like a thumb. Yeah, it looks like something. Quite a crazy storm. We cannot forget about that other tornado warning cell, though, too. This one's a bit harder to see because of the beam. The minimum beam height of the radar is about 6,000 feet. So there's a lot going on between the surface and 6,000 feet that we're not picking up on. But Storm Chaser video feed did confirm this tornado. That's why we have it. So confirmed tornado warning for Luddy, some Norwood, and Quail. Do I think the radar site might get hit by the tornado? I mean, it's in the path. It is possible. I mean, I hope not, but I mean, it is tracking in that general direction here. Although it looks like that if it continues on a linear trajectory, it should pass just east of the radar site, but you never know. It's not perfect. Yeah, Carrot, that's crazy. Blocked by radar interference. You think NOAA would figure out a way to not have a dead zone gaps in radar coverage? Yeah, I mean, see, you could fix that problem by adding more radars, but the problem is that radars cost a lot of money. They're not cheap, and they don't get the funding for all that. That goes into political stuff, but we're not getting political on this channel, man. I don't even care if it's strictly weather related. We're not getting political, but it does play a role in the funding of the Weather Service. If they had more funding, then we could have more radars and stuff like that, but we don't. Check the weather chat. Okay. By the way, guys, if you want to see all these images coming through, are those twins? Oh, what the heck? Y'all join our Discord in the description. You guys can join and look at it. I can't share the images on here for legal reasons because I don't own rights to the images, but we can share them in Discord and you can see them in our Discord. It's under the weather chat. So if you don't know how to join our Discord, just go to the description, click on our link, and it'll bring you to it. Sheesh, dude. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe that that debris signature we had earlier. I mean, look at that thing. Yeah, this was from earlier. I mean, that for the correlation coefficient to show black like that. I mean, that is a deep scan there. What's up, Ma? We have too many radar dead zones in Florida. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple. One of the ones I really want filled is the one up in northeastern Arkansas. we were literally just talking about that the other day. Whenever we had some storms go through there, it was like, dude, it's shifting east, so the storm might be getting influenced by the cold front. Has the cold front developed yet? Let me bring up the models. Here, y'all stay there for a minute. I want to pull up the models. I don't know if the cold front's developed yet. Yeah, I thought that was more tomorrow. Let's see. Calvin, yeah, I mean, there's no way to be for sure until surveyors go out and reveal the damage and stuff. But it's also got to hit places worthy enough to be rated that, if that makes sense. It's got to, it's really got to. I forgot what I was going to say. I do that too many times. It was raining out here, but it got gotcha. All these radars were updated 40 years ago. Yeah, WSR 88Ds. They are the current Doppler, but they just went through a refitting program to extend service life and stuff like that. Let's see here. Or it's just the jet stream changing direction. Well, that wouldn't really cause. I wouldn't think it would really cause lift in that circumstance. I mean, there's multiple ways to achieve lift. One of them being frontal boundaries, yes, but there's other ways like surface wind convergence, just simple diurnal heating and increased TBL. That turbulent boundary layer. As things heat up, the lower levels become very unstable and very turbulent. Sometimes it can be strong enough to actually spark convection, to spark new updrafts, and can push through the LFC. Which, I mean, yeah, it can happen. Goodness. All right, so we do have the other tornado warning in effect too. We'll bring up the current radar over there too by Amarillo. Let's see. This one, the storm chaser confirmed it until 9:45. So we have about 12 minutes left. TV says very large wedge. Yeah, the thing is huge. That thing is huge. Here, let's bring back up our radar. I mean, we have a radar right on that storm, so it's good. I'm not seeing any new debris signatures. All of these are pretty old. I mean, it still could very well be on the ground, but you should definitely treat it as it is. But warning's still there. Yeah, the Weather Service should have more funding, but that does get into politics, in which this channel is not going to get into. We're not talking politics because it divides people, and we're not here to divide. We're here to bring people together. We're here to help. But it would be nice if we had more radars, though, in some spots, especially Northeast Arkansas. I've said it so many times, dude. We've had so many weather events in Northeast Arkansas, and it's like our lowest scanning radar beam was like 10,000 feet. It's like, it sucked. I got you, Scott. Let's see. Jet should be in their shelter because yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean Jet is right in the path. Oh wow, they issued a big warning, a big severe thunderstorm warning on it though. Golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. I'm pretty sure there was a time a long time ago where the weather service, they instead of saying golf ball, I think they put goofball size hail one time. So, what are you doing, Ma? By the way, that's my mom in the chat. She decided to join. Still pretty gnarly looking. They did okay, so that one tornado warning up in eastern Texas panhandle is back to radar indicated for Luddy and Semnorwood. Is it Ludi? Oh gosh, my mom's gonna laugh at me on that one. I'm gonna hear it after the stream. Oh my gosh, you said that wrong. That's always that's how it goes. All right, but we got Jet included in this one warning here for the one up in Oklahoma. There it is. Let's see here. Calvin says debris signature or not, people need to be in their shelters close to radar. So absolutely, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like I don't care if it's confirmed or if it's expected to develop shortly. You still need to be in your shelter regardless. You still need to be in the same spot. I mean, obviously, yeah, I hope it doesn't go confirmed, but still, I don't care if it is or not. You still need to be in the safe spot. Because whenever they issue a tornado warning, that either means A, there is a tornado on the ground, or B, given the conditions, we are expecting one to develop very shortly. That's really the whole reason of that. There's reports it's still a large. Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, I'm not seeing. There's definitely some high end velocity still there, but I don't see any debris signatures anymore. So. Man. I'm gonna. I don't even know. My mom's gonna laugh at me for pronouncing the names wrong. Where did Medford and Pond Creek come from? It exploded east. I have no idea where that's at actually. The tornado warning's in effect for Jet. Let's see here. I have a cat named Jet. So we have, let's see, this includes 4 miles northeast of Helena. Moving northeast at 25. It's actually slowed down a bit. Yeah, it was moving at 40. It's slowed down to 25 now. I always trust broadcast media with confirming tornadoes over radar. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, okay, Ma. Whatever you say. Oh, buddy. All right. Well, let's hop back over to the Texas one. Let's see what's going on up here. I say up here, literally, we're scanning at minimum 7,000 feet. So radar coverage sucks. I mean, lower levels, anyways. Because, like I'm saying, I mean, this is scanning at a 0.5 degree inclination, which, you know, as you go farther and farther out, the altitude goes higher and higher of the beam. You know, just, you know, anytime you have any type of inclination, it'll do that. But, yeah, and also the curvature of the Earth affects the beam too, over especially the longer distance. But anyways, but there is, I mean, like I said, we're scanning a minimum 7,000 feet here. So there's a lot that could be happening under 7,000 feet that we can't see from the radar, and that's why we really rely on like reports. And in this case, you know, it wasn't tornado confirmed because we didn't see any of the data that was saying it was, but there was a storm chaser on the ground that said, yeah, there's a tornado on the ground. And because we have that visual data, it allowed it to become confirmed. See, weak debris signature on correlation coefficient from Wichita, Kansas radar. Is that on this cell here? For some reason, it's not. Oh, there we go. I do not see that. I do not see that. But also, I want to mention this is 6,000 feet up, and when we can use the radar that's literally right up on the storm here. Yeah, this is only scanning 300 feet, so it's a lot better to use this one because I mean it's scanning right on the ground. I mean, this is crazy in itself. The fact that we're scanning 200 feet up and we're measuring winds over 40 knots. So, I mean, if not tornado, there's definitely damaging winds going on there. But anyways. Do I think today, also tomorrow, should have been a moderate risk? Absolutely not. Nope. See, there hasn't. Yes, there's been a couple of supercells, but the variety of them, there hasn't been many particular tornadic cells. I mean, there's only been the two here so far. You know. See, the new SPC outlook goes off of quantity and severity. And quantity in this case is pretty low. But severity is pretty moderate. I mean, given what we've seen so far. I mean, we've seen some pretty strong echoes and some stuff like that. But there are a cluster of storms south of the tornado warning. Do you think it might kill the storm off? There could, yeah. I was actually talking about that a little bit ago. It could actually affect the inflow of the supercell, which it's actually starting to merge right now. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because you could start getting some, you know, the cooler air from the upper atmosphere start crashing back down towards the surface, and then you start getting cold air pulling into the inflow layer, and that could allow for the storm to just have its inflow pretty much cut off. Because the storm can't pull in cold air, and if it does, then it's going to die because the air needs to be warmer than the environment above. But if it's cooler or equal to, it's not positively buoyant. Therefore, the air does not want to rise. And you need that constant rising air. Which reminds you of the Waterloo tornado 2024. I don't even remember that one. Is that crazy hurricane-looking one? There was one that looked like it was like a hurricane spiral. It was crazy. All right. How much longer we have on this guy? This one expires at 9:45. Okay, this one's about to expire now. The other tornado warning, let's see here. Expires at 10:15. Okay, we still have a while on that one. Do I think tomorrow we'll see at least 2 to 3 plus tornadoes? I mean, given how broad the risk area is, I think it's a really good probability. Yeah, I think so. Let's see here. Did they issue a new tornado warning? Or did they replace it? I think they replaced it. It's the extended tornado warning for Amarillo near. Oh, it's not for Amarillo. Yeah, it's near the Amarillo radar. Oh man, oh man. The way to explain tornado watch and warning, you kind of applies to make a tornado warning. You have made it. You haven't made, but can't drop or not. Yeah. Yeah, basically, tornado watch means the conditions are right for tornadoes, because of wind shear, cape, moisture, all kinds of stuff. It means just the environment's capable of producing tornadoes. Tornado warning means that tornadoes ongoing or imminent. So, all right, everybody. Honestly, I think I'm probably going to call it a stream here. We've been live for 2.5 hours. I got to go do some stuff here. But I appreciate y'all for joining. I might pop back in later on. I just need to kind of separate them. But we should be back later on today, maybe later tonight, if it's still going pretty crazy. But I feel like that one northern supercell is fading out a bit. It's definitely running into some problems now. So. But I appreciate y'all. See debris insurer 1,600 yards wide. Might still be a very large tornado. Yeah, if it's that big, then. Oh, there we go. They got an extension and the tornado warning there for Nash, west of Clyde here. But all right, everybody. I'm gonna head off for now. I'll talk to y'all later on. We'll probably be back later tonight if we still have some activity popping off. But I appreciate y'all for joining. Once again, thank y'all for hanging out with us here for this evening. But yeah, we'll hang out with you guys later on tonight. Or try to, anyways. We'll see what happens with the weather. But thank you all so much for joining. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. Stay safe out there. Try not to worry about the weather. And all right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see y'all here in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.